Husband advised me to get therapy, but it's making me question my marriage. My F27 relationship with my husband, M26, of 3 years has always had its ups and downs. I'm an emotional person and he is cold and logical. Add into the mix that we both grew up in dysfunctional families and don't know a single other couple whose relationship we admire, and it's been tough at times. Our arguments affect me a lot. If he gets upset about something, even if it's fairly minor, I can't get past it. It can ruin my whole day and I end up crying and feeling depressed. He suggested I get therapy to deal with my disproportionate reactions, because he feels like that's the biggest threat to our relationship. I don't generally get these intense negative feelings anywhere else in my life, but he says that I can't use that to blame him because this isn't just any relationship, it's a marriage, and as such exposes me to pressures that other relationships wouldn't. I come from a culture where girls live with their parents until they marry, and I didn't really have any serious relationships before my now husband, who I've been with for 7 years now. I had my first appointment yesterday, and the more I talked, the more I found myself focusing in on how unhappy I am in my marriage, when I had always prescribed my issues to growing up with my parents' bad marriage. I still partly believe that it is my fault, it's my perception of him, but I realized that I censor myself around my husband so I don't irritate him and that I don't really relax around him. My brother has been staying with us and it's only served to further highlight how uncomfortable I feel with my husband. To be fair, my brother is literally my best friend. I can be 100% myself with him and he never has a go at me unless he thinks I'm going something genuinely stupid or dangerous. But I can't be that way with my husband. For example, the other day I made him coffee to take to work, but I forgot he didn't want milk in it. He got annoyed and left the coffee, but the interaction left me feeling uneasy. I messaged him saying that he overreacted, he didn't actually do anything, was just visibly irritated by my apparent incompetence, but it's a recurring theme that he doesn't appreciate the intent behind things I do for him, only how they turn out. Another example is I took our shared car. I don't currently work and my husband pays for everything, to pick up some fast food with my brother. We don't normally eat in the car, but my brother didn't know that and pulled out a sandwich on the way home. I had some as well, not realizing that some onions had fallen out. We got home, carried in the fast food bags, thought no more of it. When I got in the car later with my husband, he got upset that I got the car messy. I apologized, said I hadn't realized and told him I'd clean it. He said that wasn't good enough and I'd lost the privilege of using the car for any recreational purposes. This upset me because I'm his wife, not a child to be disciplined by taking away privileges. I told him this but he didn't agree, just told me there had to be consequences for my actions, even after I went out this morning and cleaned the car. I'm really struggling to believe that I'm genuinely in the wrong here. Our relationship is deteriorating and I can recognize that same recurring circle of resentment, punishment and withdrawal that my parents are trapped in. I don't feel like I can really talk to my husband because he's dismissive and treats me like I'm just after attention and that I should be making amends to make him want to stay with me. He says I only see things from my own selfish perspective and I'm genuinely trying to understand him too, but I feel like I'm so wrapped up in my own struggling that I can't. It seems to me that you live in a culture or society where men are running the show, and women are expected to shut up and behave. I'm betting a lot of your reactions aren't excessive, but your husband doesn't want to deal with his wife's opinions. And now he's forbidding you to drive the car when you want. Look, I don't know how to solve this. If this is how everyone lives where you are, you need to leave or learn to deal with it. On the other hand, if your husband is old school or traditional, or some other catchphrase for misogynistic fucking asshole, then you need to find a better human being to be married to. I don't think your behavior is the problem. I think he's conditioning you to be a subservient woman and wife. I'm sorry, but for whatever reason your husband clearly doesn't view you as his equal. There's no reason for anyone to limit their partner's access to transportation even if they pay for everything. That's not healthy. Good for you for starting therapy, and hopefully it will help you start to figure out what you really want out of all this. Sounds like the therapy is working. It is making you realize you are trapped in an unhappy marriage with a man who psychologically abuses and bullies you. I hope it will also make you realize that you are not in the wrong. You are not doing anything wrong. Your husband is making you believe you are doing things wrong, because he is abusive and a bully. He makes you feel bad the moment you don't do what he wants, exactly the way he wants it. Well, guess what? He's not your master and you're not his slave. You're supposed to be equal. I hope it makes you realize that he is the bad guy. He is the problem here. I hope you come to realize that if you divorce you will be less anxious and much happier. Keep going to the therapy. I think it's going to save your sanity and save your life. Taking away your privileges. 1. Who gave him the authority of doing that? 2. If my husband dared to take away my car privileges, he could forget the privilege of food until I had the car back. It's not his car anymore. Both of your car. That's what signing a marriage contract does. Him, you dare eat in my car. No more car privileges for you. Me, here, hold all of my fucks while I call an Uber and pack my bags. Edit, thank you for the awards, kind friends. I hope your Saturday has been perfect. Our relationship is deteriorating. It doesn't sound like your relationship is deteriorating, but rather like you are recognizing the abusive nature of your relationship, especially how your husband treats you. My 33M girlfriend, 30F, accidentally choked me too hard and made me pass out while we were having sex. Now she is scared to do anything and isn't the same in bed. What should I do? My girlfriend is amazing. We have great chemistry. She's the best in the bedroom and really knows that I likes. She definitely knows how to have a great time. We are both pretty freaky and like to mix it up all of the time. Honestly, we've probably done about anything that you could name. Something that we are very big on is BDSM play. We can get pretty rough and wild. We do things like slapping, spanking, grabbing, choking, and more. We can both get pretty rough with one another. Sometimes she's in charge and other times I'm in charge. Well, this particular time she was in charge. I was the one getting punished. She had got on top of me and she was choking me and riding at the same time. I had a mask on so she couldn't say my face like she normally does. Normally my face is a good indication of when she needs to stop and let go. This time she couldn't see it. She was choking me hard and I suddenly passed out. I wasn't out long, but when I woke up my girlfriend was sobbing. She was apologizing like crazy and was hugging me. Told her it's okay, that it's part of the risk. She kept apologizing and wouldn't let go. I told her that I was good to keep going. She said no and that I needed to rest. I really wanted to finish, but I finally gave in. The next day I tried to initiate things in bed. She said she wasn't feeling well and that she wanted to sleep. The next day I tried again and she agreed. When we started I noticed that she was being super gentle. Everything was way different than before. I stopped her and asked her what was wrong. She started crying again and told me that she was worried about hurting me. She said she must not have realized her own strength. She said that she doesn't think she'll feel comfortable being rough with me anymore. I tried to assure her again that everything was okay. She didn't seem to believe me. Our sex is definitely not the same as it was before the incident. It in no way bothered me, but it really seemed to bother her. I'd like our sex life to go back to how it used to be. Neither one of us are enjoying it as much since. She also hasn't been the same around me in our normal life. She doesn't joke as much and is just more on edge. Is there anything that I can do to get her to feel comfortable doing stuff again? What should I do to help our relationship? Too long didn't read. My girlfriend has been different ever since she choked me out while we were having sex. What should I do? You really should go to the hospital. Choking injuries are no joke and sometimes you'll seem fine for a few days and then suddenly have a complication. Go to the doctor. As far as the relationship goes, figure out safe words, give her some time to recover from thinking she murdered you, and be more careful in the future. I hate to be the spoil sport here, but neither of you seem knowledgeable enough about the subject to be doing any type of breath play. He could have easily killed you. Looking at your face isn't a safe stopping mechanism. There should be non-verbal cues in place, and even then it's very dangerous. The fact she didn't immediately call 911 when you were unconscious and unresponsive, but but instead held you sobbing is worrisome too. I guess she also doesn't know CPR if she needed to administer it. Look, this is a quickened way for one of you to die. Greed. This stuck out to me. I told her it's okay, that it's part of the risk. And by stuck out I mean glaring red flag. Serious lack of education here. Well, she thought she killed you, so it might take a while. But seriously, don't minimize her fear. I'd suggest taking this over to some advice. Seconded. She ended the scene after she felt traumatized that she killed Op. She is dealing with the aftermath of that trauma and needs sufficient aftercare. It will take time, and Op needs to respect her boundary on this. Dude, she thought she killed you. You need to be slow, gentle, and understanding. She is traumatized in a serious way. My 25F family disowned me when they found out I was pregnant, but now my sister, 27F, has reached out to me after finding out I recently got engaged. My family are very religious, so when they found out I was pregnant during my final year of college they disowned me and haven't spoken to me since. I was lucky I had my boyfriend and his family because they helped make sure I could finish studying and were the best emotional support I could ask for after I had a miscarriage. My boyfriend proposed to me a week ago. Yesterday, my sister reached out to me on Facebook. She said she wanted to congratulate me on my engagement and couldn't believe me and my fiancé are still together. She asked me how my baby was and if it was a boy or girl. She also asked me to send her pictures because she wanted to see what her niece/nephew looked like. She said our parents missed me and wanted to meet up to clear the air. She also apologized for telling them I was pregnant when I had told her in confidence. I haven't replied and I really don't know what to say. I've been a mess since I read her messages. Could really use some advice right now on what to do next. Too long didn't read. My family disowned me after my sister told them I was pregnant. I recently got engaged and my sister reached out to apologize and asked to meet up to reconcile. She said she wanted to congratulate me on my engagement and couldn't believe me and my fiancé are still together. Nice. She started off with an insult. She said our parents missed me and wanted to meet up to clear the air, but not apologize. More likely, they'd graciously allow you to apologize to them. I think there's a high probability here that they don't know you miscarried, so their minds, if you're married, it's all good. They could consider your child a real grandchild. If they learned about the miscarriage, they might think it was punishment from their God for your sins or some claptrap. At any rate, I don't actually see them apologizing. They had how long to reach out to you and talk to you on their own, but they chose not to. Personally, I wouldn't see them. I'd write your sister a polite note acknowledging receipt of her message. Thank you for the congratulations. You feel very fortunate to be surrounded by loved ones. Tell her consider the air cleared and for your parents not to worry, you've let go. Then sign off. But I'm bitter and would want to be deliberately obtuse and purposefully misunderstand. The important thing is, you don't owe them forgiveness or closure. You are not responsible for making them feel better about how they treated you. You are only responsible for your own healing and moving past their toxicity. Clear the air doesn't sound like apologize, does it? I can't advise you because although my instinct is to say screw that, I also know that even horrible families can provide as much joy in your life as they provide pain. If you do choose contact, I would recommend not being vulnerable to them again. Clear the air to me sounds like I'm sorry you feel this way and similar crap fake apologies.